pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is an emergency meeting of the Board of Elections to discuss an emergent and important matter that has arisen and the delay of the meeting for the purpose of providing adequate notice which would likely result in substantial harm to the public interest. Roll call.
Chairman Engel?
Here.
Commissioner Katz?
Here.
Commissioner Moskowitz?
Present.
I was going to request that everybody speak a little louder with the masks on because it's kind of hard to hear what some people are saying, so if we could speak a little louder, it would help a lot. No old business, new business, discussion and consideration of the per Hamwood provision of ballots, and I would defer to Linda Pino to explain how they discuss.
Okay, as a full-time staff, we're working on posting the provisional ballot history. A Democratic staff member and a Republican staff member discovered that there were 11 ballots in the pile that were completed that were not completed. The certs were still attached, the ballots were attached also. So this was in the pile of the certs that were torn off that they were posting vote history for, or were making changes for. So it was given to me, and I then gave it to Administrator Lynch, informed Administrator Lynch.
And then from there, I came in and I observed the ballots and kind of asked staff how it came into our possession. I then called the Attorney General's office, communicated with the commissioners and the deputy administrator, and the response was that the commissioners, if they so choose, can meet and consider the ballots and still have them presented for the results for this election.
Before we proceed further, Linda, can you identify the two staff members who found it for the record?
I'm not sure of the Republican staff member, but Mike Nyers was a Democratic staff member who worked with seasonal Republican.
And David Wilkinson.
Is it David? Okay, it's David Wilkinson.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, can I just add to it that these are ballots that are active for active voters. It should
So
be accepted.
they were checked.
They were checked.
We found the 11. Those were checked on SVRS. They're active voters, so those are provisional ballots.
Yes.
That
I'm
could be
assuming
counted under.
rechecked, correct? They would have been checked initially upon receipt, which is why they would have been in the pile.
They were checked initially, and unfortunately, they were mixed in with the certs that were completed.
I understand it.
Thank you for the clarification.
I just wanted to clarify
That's
for
good.
myself, not to imply that they had never been.
Good.
Thank you.
So I guess what would be appropriate this time would be a motion to accept and count them. And then if there is a discussion, we would have discussion. I'll make that motion for those purposes.
Can we have a second?
I will second.
Roll call, Maria.
Chairman Engel?
Yes,
What
we
do you,
count.
well, we should, does anyone have, do you have any discussion?
Well, we don't have,
That's
no,
after.
just roll call to accept.
No, it's a roll call to accept and count, all right? Now, if there's any discussion on the issue, then we do that, then we
All
don't.
right, let's finish.
Just very quickly, I'm satisfied that the ballots were in our possession. We've identified the people that found them. It was a bipartisan group, bipartisan staff, and I'm happy to. I do not want to disenfranchise the voters, so I would vote to approve. That's all I want.
My only comment would be I appreciate the immediacy of being informed about the situation, that it went directly to our director and we were notified as quickly as we were. I too believe that all ballots should in fact be reviewed and counted.
I guess we'll
Proceed.
Commissioner, Chairman Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Katz?
Yes.
Commissioner Moskowitz?
Yes.
As a chairman, if you wanted to, and again, at this point, in terms of transparency, if you want to allow anyone present to observe or challenge the ballots at this particular time, that would be within your purview as well.
We can observe how we're opening it. And then if you want to challenge, they can do it.
Fernando wants to say something. I have no objection.
Okay.
It's sort of out of order, but it's fine.
For matter of transparency, Has this ever happened before?
Yes, now, actually.
And I will also tell you, I go back a long time. In 1981, when it was a recount for Kane and Florio, Essex County found a whole pile of unaccounted.
But
What
here,
was that
here
outstanding
in
balance?
Middlesex, has it ever happened before? That you can recall?
There have been minor mistakes made throughout. I don't know if there was anything after the certification date.
Yeah, but the which is why
There were in,
We had the cerebral ballots that the election supplies last year.
Yeah.
But it wasn't after the certification, though.
No.
It was either during a recount
yeah.
or whatever.
Although this is, to be very, they were
I
very
just-
fair,
for the
very
record,
fair on
I
that. This is, the nature of this election and the nature of the primary election was such that the count itself took much more time than it would typically take. So if there were mistakes, they typically would have been able to be found because the count was finished, and then we were doing the cleanup earlier before the certification date, which is when that would count. Now, because it took us till about 10 p.m. the night for the certification to do this, that's why this is now, we're now in the post count phase, which was normally earlier. So that's why, in my opinion.
So no is the specific answer.
Okay. So it's a no, obviously.
So we
All right,
voted.
we can proceed with the counting. You want on first? Okay. These are-
Are there any challenges that I'm aware of any of the ballots?
No. On these ballots, no.
Okay.
And sitting at the table is both a Democrat and Republican, and just to make that clear as well. Right, Ollie? Just clarifying that there's a Democrat and a Republican at the table. And I also want to thank you for your insistence on always moving with those. I think that the difficulty would have caused had it not been that case.
Yeah, I'll just pull them instead of using the little one.
You're not going to bring me the slicing machine?
For 11? I don't
Just
know.
thought I'd throw that out.
Ready? Maria, would you mind getting this a letter open, please? With the paper. Okay. Trump. Thank you. And then down by the mayor section. Hellman, Cabo. Nothing on the back. No votes on the back. Thank you, Maria. Plug it better with gloves on.
The back of the school board election is put on with. Look at the back of
I'm
the
sorry.
school board election.
Yes, yes.
I mean,
We're going to start with the front. Biden, Booker, Pallone, Pinkin, Tamaro, Copel. And the mayor is Wilda Diaz, Bernadette Falcone Lopez, Junior Iglesias for council. In the back, school board, Rominia Roman, Justin Ross, Manuel Fernandez, Marlenis
wait, that's an over, oh, I'm sorry. It's three full terms and one unexpired.
What was the last name, please?
Rosa,
Thank you.
R-O-S-A.
Thank you.
Question number 1 is yes. Question 1, yes. Question 2, yes. Question 3, yes. Trump, Mita, Anoa, Christian, Joseph Warlock, masculine, Politi, and for mayor, it's Cava, Council, Morales, and Torres. And school board, Gonzalez, Peralta, De Jesus. The 1 year unexpired term is George, Michael George. Question 1, no. Question 2, no. Question 3, no. Donald Trump only. The mayor, Joseph Voss. Sick. School board, nothing, and question, no answers. Nothing. Booker? Yeah, nothing. Oh, you want me to go that way? Is it more comfortable going that way?
Oh, I thought you were
Down.
starting from the, okay.
I can go that way. So do Trump, Booker, Pallone, Pinkin, Tamara, Copel, for mayor, Diaz, council, Falcone Lopez, Iglesia. School board, Anderson, LeBron, Roman, Rosa. Question 1, no. Question 2, yes. Question 3, yes. Biden, that's it on the top part. Mayor is Cava. No school board and no questions. Okay, Trump, Mita, Christian Anohu. I said it.
No,
Did I say it?
it's a no-hop.
Anoha. Wolock, masculine, Politi. For mayor, it's Diaz, council, Falcone, Lopez, Iglesia. School board, Gonzalez, Peralta, De Jesus, and George. There's no questions answered. Just Biden. For mayor, Cava. School board, Morales. Question 1, yes.
What was it?
Karen Morales.
That was council, and that's school board. You said school board.
Oh, okay. Council Morales.
It's school board, Karen Morales. Board of Education, Karen Morales. Didn't it sit on there? You could just write it in.
Was there a council on the other side? I don't think so.
Council, no. There's no
So it was
council,
just
county
mayor,
clerk,
council,
freeholder.
and then it's just-
I'm sorry, mayor and council here, mayor and council here.
Right, but it was only a vote for mayor on
This is
that.
the right ballot, it's a birthday boy general election.
Yeah, there was only one, in the mayor council race, there was only a vote for the mayor.
It's Sharon Horgan. Oh, there it is, Karen, that one. It's here, Morales. And question 1, yes. Question 2, yes. Question 3, yes. No, no worries.
So it's 3 school board and the mayor.
There's 3 or 4.
I mean, that's it.
Mayor, no council, no votes for council.
That was the vote, I remember 3 names.
Okay, President Biden, Booker, Pallone, Pinkin, Tamaro, Copel. Mayor Cava, Council Morales, Torres. School Board, Gonzalez, Peralta, De Jesus, George. Question 1, yes. Question 2, yes. Question 3, no. Biden, Veronica Fernandez, Christian,
No,
there you go. Pinkin, Tamaro, Copel. Mayor Diaz, Council Bermudez, Iglesia. School, Maria Rodriguez, Sharon Huberman, Diane Roman, Michael George. Question 1, yes. Question 2, yes. Question 3, no. Trump, Mita, Christian, Woloch, Masculine, Politi. Mayor Cava, Council Morales, Torres. School, Gonzalez, Peralta, George. Question 1, no. Question 2, yes. Question 3, no. That's it. How about we put in the name, put under the person's name?
then mechanically, since we're Linda, this is different, will this be submitted on a certification modified as listed?
I spoke to Deborah and she said she's aware of it. As soon as we give her the total, she'll add that into an amended certification.
Is there anything else that BTG or advise us we should be doing other than that's clear that?
Again, if you vote to accept, which you already did, is that we would just go through the normal process.
Well, we voted to counter already, so I don't know.
I thought we accepted.
Do you want us to read the results?
Yes,
You'll find
please
out,
announce
please
it. Count.
provide totals for all the.
Okay, so for Joe Biden, 5. Donald Trump, 6. Cory Booker, 3. Frank Pallone, 3. Pinkin, 4. Charles Tamaro, 4. Leslie Copel, 4. Meta, 3. Anoha, 4. Woloch, 3. Masculine, 3. Politi, 3. Voss, 1. Bermudez, 1. Diaz, 4. Falcone Lopez, 3. Iglesia, 4. Veronica Fernandez, 1. Cava, 6. Rose Morales, 3. Torres, 3. Maria Rodriguez, 1. Sharon Huberman, 1. Karen Morales, 1. Ronald Anderson, 1. Lizette LeBron, 1. Diane Roman, 2. Marlenis Rosa, 2. Romina Roman, 1. Justin Ross, 1. Antonio Fernandez, 1. Marisol Gonzalez, 4. Stacy Peralta, 4. Willie De Jesus, 3. Michael George, 5. Question 1, 4 yes, 3 no. Question 2, 6 yes, 1 no. And question 3, 3 yes, 4 no.
Thank you.
Commissioner comments?
I don't know.
No? No. Public comment? Charlie?
Yes. Yeah, good morning, members of the board. I wanted to follow up on what happened with the certification on, and you know, correct me if anything I say is wrong here, but on the 19th, there was a meeting held at the county college. I was present. I asked, what's that? No, the 19th.
Thursday?
Yeah, you had a meeting there, right? It was a challenge hearing. In that little room,
Challenge hearing was here.
Mr. Baker was there.
The challenge hearing was here.
No, it was.
Oh, no, the challenge, I'm sorry, I apologize. You're right,
So-
you're correct.
So, at that hearing, I asked, what's the plan for the certification? Is there going to be a public meeting here tomorrow? You said yes, 4 p.m. tomorrow. I went to the county college at 4 p.m. There was no board. I was told that it was not ready to be certified. More votes had to be counted. There was still work to be done. I personally wasn't notified. And then when I came over here, I see a notice on the door for the 4 p.m. meeting at the county college, but I'm told that behind that door, this board actually did have a meeting here and reviewed signatures. It's correct, right? On Friday the 20th at 4 p.m., instead of having the advertised meeting, you had a meeting here.
Review of signatures, Charlie,
Right.
since middle of October on probably about 15 or 16 or 17 occasions.
Correct.
Yes.
And we had to continue to review signatures as ballots were processed, because as the ballots were processed, then that was when the signatures were looked at, so the questions of whether they would be questioned, so they were held for commissioners, so that question, if it is possible, theoretically possible, that at the very last ballot that is processed either here or in college, or at the college, could have been questioned, then we would have to have reviewed them at that time.
Okay. I guess the overall point I'm trying to make is that it seems like a never-ending challenge to find out the board's schedule of meetings and when you'll be having these meetings. And I've diligently tried to find out when every meeting is so that I can come and record it on video and of course sometimes make comments and ask questions. And I'm sort of at a loss because I didn't get notified of this meeting either. And the website for the Board of Elections still does not have a proper meeting schedule on it. So I only know this because I'm hearing from people with their concerns about the election telling me that there's this hearing this morning. I had no idea. So going forward, how about this? Could I at least get a notice of any future Board of Elections meeting? Just email it to me. Would that be something the board could do for me?
Tom, is that a possibility for you?
Again, well, this was an emergent meeting, but we'll hope to have the website be a more accurate reflection of future
I mean,
meetings.
we don't automatically, we're not separately notified media of meetings.
Not media, but is there any immediacy to our notification on site? on our site.
I'm not following what,
The meeting's the meeting, as soon as you knew there was going to be a meeting, I appreciated that you contacted us.
yeah.
But is someone responsible for immediately uploading, is that the right term? I apologize if it is not. The fact that a meeting would be there. Therefore, it'd be his responsibility to look at the site in order to find out about that.
Yeah, we could work to improve having the meetings posted on the website. And again, it was
I
emergent
think
nature, so
that's-
I tried to make the parties and the pertinent employees aware of it.
And as we noted ourselves, because of the change or the need for more specific meetings, as you've said, right, Commissioner? That would be best for us, the same way we're told maybe last minute, you don't need to think that it's personally against. I hope you do believe that it is not, but it is important that we let the public know. So that would be my suggestion.
Yeah, I can't help but feel like a broken record sometimes, because this is something I've been bringing up well before the election. It's a really fundamental, basic thing to be able to put the meeting schedule on the web for anyone who wants to know. And I've kind of pointed out that might help get more people involved if you were to do that. And it's not I don't think it's a big ask. I don't think it should take months, but it has. And I understand there's a lot of things that came up this year, but this is one thing that's doable that I think that the board should do at a minimum. Moving on to the 20th, after I did finally track down the board, and thank you, Madam Chair, for letting me know when you were headed over to the county college for the certification process. As you will remember, I was there, and when I got there, Mr. Lynch told me that he said at first he wasn't sure where the certification would take place, whether it was in the upstairs or in the little room where we had that first meeting. Then he told me it's going to be in the little room. And then as the night wore on and got closer to 10 o'clock, I noticed the certification paperwork being signed by one of the commissioners who's here and the other who's not. And I could still hear and see ballots being counted. So I wanted to just understand what was going on. And I tried to approach, and Mr. Frankel yelled at me and told me to get back. And then when it came his turn to sign the paperwork, he basically took issue with being on camera, even though you all have been on camera for all your meetings and the signature matching and all the, everything. And I've had it out with some people about being able to film in that room. And so it was just really disappointing after thinking like we'd worked through it and gotten through the problems, that on that last day, people are, giving me a hard time about filming, let alone the commissioner. And so Mr. Franklin said he was uncomfortable being on camera. I believe you might have also said you were uncomfortable being on camera. And I want to know why you were uncomfortable being on camera at that moment. And did I see what I think I saw? Did I see the Democrat commissioners sign the certification paperwork before the ballots were counted?
My concern, Charlie, that evening was some of the staff, some of the seasonal workers did not want their faces on Facebook. And I think I relayed that to you.
Sure, I understand. It's just the type of job that if you take the job, you're a public servant, and you do sort of submit yourself to that. It's either it's okay to take photos and videos, or it's not. And I thought we had landed in a comfortable place, and I even thanked the board for it at a prior meeting. So it's just disappointing to, after all that, on the last day, in the last hour, to be being yelled at by the commissioner for doing something that we already thought was agreed upon as okay. And I want to know, were the certification paperwork being signed before the votes were counted? Did you, Madam Commissioner, sign?
I'm not putting together the timing of your filming or not, so I could not answer that right now.
Okay, I mean, it was pretty,
Commissioner Frankel's not here.
I understand. It's just pretty obvious when the ballots are being counted. It makes a real loud noise, and you can see the guy.
No, I understand that, but I thought I did make it. I did make a comment about the filming, not quite understanding the need for an hour-long process of filming. That's a personal decision, not a commissioner decision for you, because there is nothing hidden at any of our meetings. So I understand that you've been given the right to tape a meeting. When we have a formal one such as this, I understand more completely because my comments are very important for a vote, for a consideration. When we're in a room, waiting as you are, I wasn't quite as understanding about the filming, and I did, as the chairwoman said, we did hear from people there asking they didn't want to be on film. Nothing against the filming of it, it's just a personal response to that.
Okay, well, for the record, it appeared that Mr. Frankel took the paperwork out into the hallway.
He's not here, so perhaps it would be best if we had that discussion when he could respond to you. Because all we're doing is assuming what his responses are and his actions.
I'm not assuming
That would be
anything.
my comment.
I'm not assuming anything about him or his what his response would be. I'm just saying what I saw and what was captured on my video that I reviewed was that, he said he was uncomfortable. I said, if you're ordering me to stop videoing, you got to tell me what law. And he said, I'm not ordering you to stop, but everybody come with me. And he took the paperwork and took it out into the hallway because he was uncomfortable being on camera. And I'm just curious why, if everything was on the up and up, why would you be uncomfortable signing the paperwork on camera? I do think that it was wrong to sign the paperwork prematurely. If that's what happened, that shouldn't have happened. And I think that, while it's not directly related to these 11 ballots, I think that, rushing to certify the election is not a good thing. And it's best to do it right so that you don't have problems after the fact. And I'm just, concerned at I know it was a long day and a long election. And I understand that people want to go home, and the meeting was supposed to be at 4, and it's already almost 10 o'clock. But the Republicans were able to wait till the last vote was counted before signing the paperwork. I'm as a Democrat, I'm disappointed the Democrats didn't do the same. And that's.
You believe that the Democrats did not do the same. That was your observation.
Well, you could tell me if did I observe correctly? It was on video.
I explained to you that my timing was going to be off, so I would not make that statement. But I wanted you to have the language as well stated properly. You do not believe that they signed it. You do believe that we did.
You waited. It was after the last vote was counted that you signed.
I didn't say that. Yes, the final signing of any of that stuff came in after I was specifically given numbers.
Okay.
And there are many, many papers.
We were also under an executive order from the governor for the 20th, and it was getting closer and closer to midnight, so we're eager to finish it. And this was a very unusual election, as you would agree.
Absolutely.
And at our next meeting, we're compiling a list of things that we need to correct in case we have to do it again next year.
Okay.
So
I'll
we're doing our best.
I'll try to make some contributions to the list. Thank you for your time today.
I'm going to add another comment to that part.
John, you have some?
Well, as Commissioner Engel said, this election, and to some extent the primary election, was very much different than any election that's been held in Middlesex County, presumably since Middlesex County was formed. And typically when a certification occurs, or not the initial announcement of the vote total occurs is done by the county clerk or representative of the county clerk with a printout from the machine, one of the machines. This instance, there were 4 machines. They were not online, put there, and there was no separate printout. So we did verify that, or at least we were told that all of the ballots were counted. The person that was the employee of ES&S that was running the machine told me that everything was finished. And at that point, the certification was completed to the sign. That's what we were told. That's why we were there at 10 o'clock or whatever the time was. So that's as much as is there anything?
John, did you want to say something?
No, everything Commissioner Katz and Oscar said is fine.
Commissioner comments over?
We did that. We have public comment.
Public comment? Anybody else from the public would like to say something? No? Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Right, move to adjourn. Is there anything else?
Roll call,
Move to
please.
adjourn.
Chairman Engel?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes, adjourn.
Commissioner